Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, good evening. What's happening, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers podcast coming to you live and direct. It's Thursday night. Y'all know what it is when it comes to the world of sports. Before we get into all the particulars, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit all the bells for all the notifications. And those that listen to me at the sound of my voice, you're listening to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Odyssey, whatever your podcast liking. Y'all give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star review. 5-star review, and let us know how you like us. Love us or hate us, as D-Dub says. Let us know how we're doing. Good, bad, and different. You guys do it on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the hate. We take it all for what it is and what it's worth, man. So listen, hey, it's only me right now. Ryan should be joining me in about 14 minutes. He said 15 minutes and one minute ago, but about 14 minutes, Ryan should be joining me. It's only me and Ryan tonight. A lot of things to get into the world of sports. You had the NBA draft last night. Cooper Flagg, he went number 1 as expected. He did that. A couple other things. NHL made a trade. Not the NHL, but the Edmonton Oilers. They traded Evander Kane to Vancouver. I'll get into that in a little bit. And some other notable things. The MLB All-Star Games are upon us. And the dog days of summer are upon us as July is about to creep around the corner here in a little bit, man. But we're here to give you some great sports content, man. Content when it comes to the world of sports, man. Make sure you look out for some more intriguing interviews that we have with sports figures and people within the realm of sports, as we also talk with medical professionals. We got a couple of interviews coming up with a couple of medical professionals. You should absolutely like it and enjoy it. And hey, make sure you tap into our YouTube channel, man. Shout out to all those that's hitting us up on YouTube and that's loving us on YouTube, man. We thank you for what you have done. Man, we're just short of 900,000 views all time on YouTube. 900, that's huge. So we thank you for those that's tapping in on the YouTube side, man. Hey, enough of that. Let's get into the world of sports, man. This is the news and review, man. And as I forestated before, we'll get into the news, and we'll do a little hockey here first, as I forestated. The Edmonton Oilers, they traded Evander Kane to the Vancouver Canucks. They traded Kane to the Canucks in exchange for a 2025 4th-round draft pick. So this is what happens with the salary. No salary retained by Edmonton, and this clears Kane's full $5.125 million cap hit for the 2025-2026 season. Some of his background, Kane signed a extension back in Edmonton in the year 2021-2022. That move will mark the final year of the contract. He publicly thanked his teammates and fans on X. So some of his career stats: he was drafted 4th overall by Atlanta, the Atlanta Thrashers, which is now the Winnipeg Jets. And since has played 15 NHL seasons with 326 goals and 291 assists. So from the Canucks perspective, this is from CBS Sports, by the way. From Stephen Douglas of Sports Illustrated. We love to give people the credit here. The Canucks, their perspective, they Okay. All right, it should be better now. But going back to the Diamondbacks here, who we got here? Oh, I was talking about, most stadiums now they want to be in like a little village where they have retail, they have shopping, they have things around there, like I said, condos and rental areas around there where they can make this a little village. If you go to Atlanta, you go to their new field to not Turner Field, but what's that, SunTrust Stadium, SunTrust Field. They got that around there. Shout out to Atlanta. And here in Arizona, they got the same thing. They want to keep the same thing. So here's why it's significant. If, all my hockey people, y'all just seeing how the Arizona Coyotes, they left the desert. So they used to play in the same place where the Phoenix Suns play. They changed the name so many times. I don't know the name of the arena, and I don't have nobody right now to look it up. But you folks in Phoenix, y'all help me out. So they play in the arena. They play in that arena with the Suns, and then they moved because of whatever disagreement. So they moved a little bit out to the suburbs to where they was playing, and then they moved to the college. Then they couldn't make agreement there with any upgrades to any stadium stuff. So then they moved again to a college where what happened? It was seating for like only 5,000 seats, and that's a pro team. And this is what we got here, where you don't have anybody hardly coming to the stands, to the fans coming to see them. Not a good product on the field, on the ice, I should say. And this is what happened. So they got to that component. I believe they were sold, and off to Utah they go, where they become the Utah Hockey Club. And so they became the Utah Hockey Club. I believe it was bought by same people that own the Jazz. And now they're doing a whole renovation for ice hockey there. And shout out to them. So the Suns, basically, the politicians basically didn't want to lose a baseball team either. So if you think about it, so within the last 40 years, Phoenix has gained 3 professional sports, because the Suns was there. When did the Suns come into being? I believe in the 70s or 60s or 70s. I'm not don't hold me to it. So you only had Phoenix Suns playing there, and then you begot the Phoenix Cardinals, because that's what they was playing, and when they was playing at the university. Then you had the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then you had the Phoenix Coyotes, and now which they have moved and became the Utah Hockey Club. So some more notable things. So there's a bill to be signed by Governor Katie Hobbs, which is expected. Team President Derek Hall now focuses on negotiating a lease extension beyond the current extension, which is 2027. Some of the key notes here: they want to modernize this place. It's 27 years old. I said almost 30, right? This ensures that the Diamondbacks stay in the Phoenix area long term and keeps downtown economically vibrant. This provides an infrastructure upgrade that the rival NLE West peers in high revenue division have, right? So if you look at the NL West, you have the Dodgers, which have done another, I believe my main man Ryan's on. The Dodgers have done another renovation of Dodger Stadium. Of course, you have the place where the Giants play at, AT&T Park out there in San Francisco, and then you have where, you have where the the Colorado Rockies play at. They're awful, but hey, they say downtown is vibrant where they're at, and hey, you want to make sure you go there, because they go to what they say. They go to the baseball game to drink and go to the bars, and hey, there's a baseball game in the back of it, man. So That's what they got here. I don't know if Ryan, can you hear me, sir? Good evening. How's it going, sir? Thank you for joining.
Yeah, yeah, no problem, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hold on one second. I think there's something wrong with my volume. I was just talking here about the what was I talking about? The Diamondbacks. You always say that, hey, stop counting billionaires' money, man. They got a thing where they're gonna upgrade Chase Field. So that's what I was just talking about. Your thoughts on owners, getting the buy-in from the people to donate money, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean that's always been going on. Taxpayers' dollar goes to certain things. So
Yeah.
I don't really, I, I don't really, dive too much into it. The owner should always pay for the stadium. I mean, but the city and the fans, they're benefiting too from the sport or whatever. So I mean, I understand it, but
Do you think the owners should pay for everything, or like they look like they're splitting this right down the middle? So it's 250 million they're paying the owners, and looks like the city and the county is on the hook for $250 million.
I think that's more than fair. I think that should if if obviously if the owners can afford obviously they can't afford it. Would it be nice for the owner to front everything? I understand it, but remember these sports franchise gives a great deal back to the city and employees and it helps with with the economy in that city. So so I don't mind at all them splitting it 50-50. I actually think that's a pretty good model to follow.
You say that, and I think I agree with you. This I agree with you because sometimes the bill be for the fans and the city and the county to be on the hook for everything, and I think this is a good model and definitely a good idea. And you make a good point,
Yeah,
right? You make a good point. This brings back jobs, and the stadium's not only going to be used for baseball; it's going to be used for other
concerts.
cons- you name it, football games, whatever. If they play in there,
Yeah,
college and
gives back to
the
the
high,
economy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely
I
a
think
good move.
I think that's a perfect model to follow. Go 50-50. So we don't have to spend months arguing on who should pay and who not should not pay. Just split it 50-50. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. You know me, man. I don't get all involved in that. In the owner's money and the and the the ratings and all that stuff. Sports are gonna make money, period. And if they don't make money in a certain city, then they'll move. Or if they can't get a stadium built where they want to get them built, they'll move. But sports are not going anywhere. That's why I always say, what's my motto, Kev? I don't count these billionaires. I used to say millionaires. Now I'm saying billionaires because we got these sports franchise getting sold for billions of dollars. I mean, we saw the Lakers going for almost 11 billion.
I mean, you
So
said there's that valuation of the WNBA teams, which
yeah,
I found. I was like, wow. I said, man, that's pretty neat that their valuation of those teams are going up. So shout out to the WNBA.
yeah. Especially with the Golden State Valkyries, the newest team has the highest value.
Mm.
That bodes well for other teams and other cities and other uh, financial groups trying to get a team when you see that, and it's an investment, man. Like I said, the WNBA is relatively a
Right.
young league, and now it, you're gonna see people investing in the teams, marketing better, everything, So yeah, so it's in a good spot, man. But sports. Like I said last show, sports are it in America, man. All over the world, man. Sports is just it brings people together. No matter what your political views are, your race, your whatever, boom, anything. If I like a team and you like a team, man, we're brothers for that moment when they're playing.
And you make a good
Period.
point with that, and I love that you said that because I definitely get down with that statement because like you said, man, for those 3 hours you're there, man. I don't care what your political affiliation is, whatever. We rocking whatever that team is. We're yelling, we're screaming, we're hollering, we're booing, and for those 3 hours plus or whatever you're at, man, it's just a good time. And like you said, as for you and as for me, we've been involved in sports. We played a little bit of it. I put respect
Yeah.
to your name. I didn't know you was an all-star down here. When you was
Oh yeah. I'm a legend, man. I'm a jump shot legend in South Florida.
said put some.
I they I was Curry before there was a Curry. You know, in the high school intramural 40 and over league, city league. So nah, man. But nah, man. Like I said, man, sports are not going anywhere. People got to stop being fixated on these ratings when these studios and and billionaire companies are investing in you know in the media rights. So I I worry about what's on the field, man. I can't jump on the narratives. Oh, the ratings is bad. All right, okay, man. Okay, what I always say, Kev. Let me know when the league is folding. Then we'll have something to talk about. Until then, nah, I'm good. We got other stuff we can talk about within the game.
I don't know if can you hear me, Ryan? Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I
Can
can
you hear
hear you.
me?
My sound went out a little bit. Nah, that's true. I mean, you absolutely have been hammering it at home with us and say, "Hey, man, guys, relax. This ain't going nowhere,
Guys,
man."
relax, man.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
yo, they
I go
they
anywhere.
not moving, man. So y'all,
Whoa.
y'all need to
Why
relax.
y'all? Why you so worried about the ratings? I'm like, it's, nah,
Yeah,
it's funny,
let me
man.
go on. Let me go on to the this other thing I had real quick. And Florida State, Ryan, Florida State. I don't know if you saw this article right here real quick before we get on
Mhm.
to I had it here, Florida State. I had it. I had it. My sound is still acting funny, so I'm still trying to work with my sound here. Before I
Nah,
do
no
that,
worries, man.
let me just read this one, this real quick. Justin Tucker, he's going to be suspended here for 10 weeks, the first 10 weeks of the 2025 season, effective August 26th. He'll be eligible to return on November 11th. His violation, of course, is a personal conduct policy based on the accusations from 16 massage therapists at 8 different Baltimore area spas, alleged to have occurred between the 2012 and 2016. Justin, he's a decorated NFL kicker, as y'all know, with the Ravens, and the Ravens released him May 5th, despite having 3 years on his contract and $22 million left. So, this story sounds very familiar, and that is why the Ravens parted ways with Justin Tucker. So he's got put on the the personal conduct and policy ineligible list, and he'll be won't be eligible for the first 10 weeks of the 2025 season for Justin Tucker. So, well, Justin, ain't nothing to really say about that. It's what it is when it comes to that. Baseball, real quick. Baseball, the All-Star games coming up here in Atlanta. And you already got the first 2 top getters of the All-Star. You got Aaron Judge. He has 4 million votes,
Mhm.
roughly, as I'm saying. And you got Shohei Ohtani. He's right behind Aaron Judge. So those are the first 2 getters. They get vote getters, and they automatically have starting spots. And from the ledger here, from the 26th of this month, which is today, of course, These are some of the leaders for the All-Star position. Start from the American League. You got Cal Raleigh from Seattle. That dude's really good, man. And he's putting up numbers close to Judge. You got Vlad Guerrero, of course, at first base. Gleyber Torres, who I really didn't like as a Yankee. He's playing well this year. He's leading second baseman for Detroit. Jacob Wilson for Oakland. At shortstop, Jose Ramirez for Cleveland. He's leading the vote getters at third base. And then in the National League, you got Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, of course. Freddie's a professional hitter. You love him. Ketel Marte. Real quick, Ryan, I know you hear this story about Marte. Yeah. Tell the folks about that real quick. I thought it was a disgusting story. I'm glad MLB acted appropriately.
Yeah, I think a fan. I think it's a 22-year-old. And I ain't gonna call him no kid. That's a grown man, 22 years old, man. Making a comment about his deceased mom, or was that it? I don't know exactly what was said, but I believe he made a comment about his mom that passed or something like to that effect. Hello? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think it was a 22-year-old. Like I said, I'm not gonna call him a kid because he's a grown man at 22. Yep. I believe he said something about the baseball players, something to that effect.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Absolutely.
I mean, if somebody wants to go there with somebody, I mean, that's just morally, that's just wrong and super insensitive. You know what I mean? Just no place for that. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
But rightfully so. Major League Baseball, they did what? They got rid of him and banned that guy from life from any Major League park. So kudos to Major League Baseball for taking active. And you saw the guy was visibly shaken and upset, man. And fans could be good things, and then fans could be bad things from when they do. And all we gotta look is the malice in the palace when that happened. When things go too far, and players had enough, especially in places like with basketball, where the people are right on top of you, and
and alcohol in your system, and all.
I've seen it, so I've seen it. So we'll see. And hey, shout out to my dad. My dad's watching, man. He's up there in the comments. Shout out to Dad. Appreciate the dad. He's watching. Shout out to D-Dubs too. Shout out to D-Dubs too, man. It's going. Ryan, let's move to. I'll go back to this Florida State order. Let's move real quick to the not real quick, but to the NBA. They had a draft last night. Let's move to that real quick.
Yeah. So no shocking, surprising with the first pick, Dallas getting Cooper Flagg. Everybody knew that was going to happen. Great pick for Dallas, of course. They got lucky in the draft lottery and got Cooper Flagg. Like for me, Cooper Flagg, like he has no weakness, right? But he's not super great at anything. I don't want to say, people say he's a jack of many trades, but master of none. Like, and that makes him a can't miss talent, right? Like he's a can't miss prospect because he does everything so well. You know what I'm saying? But like for instance, like Ace Bailey, right? Ace Bailey can either be, I don't want to say a bust, but an average player, or either be like elite, he has superstar like scoring ability, and dynamic scoring. So, whereas in Cooper Flagg, he's just good at everything. Like he really has no weakness to his game. I know they nitpicked on him, that maybe he wasn't as clutch as he should have been. I think he was like 0-4, 0-6 in college in clutch situations. So but he's a can't miss talent because his floor is gonna be so good anyway. And then if he reaches his ceiling and can be a superstar, then then you're all right. So it went basically chalk, with 1 and 2. We got Harper going to to the Spurs. So now they have, basically damn near 3 lead guards. You know what I'm saying? Fox, Castle, who was rookie of the year and their first round draft pick last year, and now Harper. So everybody, I heard people saying, well, should they move Fox or what have you? I'm like, no, you just traded for Fox because now you need a veteran leader on the team because Wemby's still young. Everybody's still young there. So, Chris Paul is not there anymore. So Fox is that leader. And now you got these 2 guys on rookie contracts. So now there's no, you can keep everybody and let them grow. So San Antonio is still a young team. Dallas, man, if Dallas can get Kyrie back healthy, I don't know if he's going to come back this year. I know they were saying maybe like January, February, but it's an ACL. So, with these injuries, ACL, Achilles, when you come back, you can come back and play, but the mental aspect of it, is going to be there. So like what they did, and then the draft started at pick 3 with Philly, right? So, there were rumors that Ace Bailey was gonna, didn't want to go there. They wanted to go to like Washington, a team like that where he can really get a lot of burn. And with Philly, them getting Edgecombe, it was either Edgecombe or Ace Bailey, but I thought they would go with Ace Bailey, but being that they have, they still got Paul George, even though Paul George is a little bit older, they went with the defensive, more all around Edgecombe that can add to a team. Because come on, let's be honest, Dallas and Philly, and for the most part, the Spurs, they got lucky, and Philly was
again
just hurt the whole year, so they tanked and got the 3rd pick. Right? I mean, but it wasn't their fault. They just got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like Paul George was banged up, Maxey missed time, Embiid missed time. So if they're healthy, I mean, they're easily a top 4 team in the East if they're healthy. I mean, so now they add Edgecombe, who's his comp is like a D Wade, Oladipo type of player, very good defensively. So now, if they're healthy, man, with all the injuries in the East, Philly can be right, contending for the number 1 seed again. If they're healthy.
Healthy is
like
the word.
Yeah. Health is the key. And I always said health is the key for every team. Health is the key for every NBA champion. We see it. The injuries dictate most of the time who wins the championships. It does. It just does. Yeah, we just saw it again. Because I'm not gonna say the way Tyrese Halliburton came out on fire, like Indiana, like I said, Indiana looked so comfortable, man. They looked so confident, and OKC was a little bit, I don't want to say shook or shell shocked, but they were kind of like SGA was the only one that looked comfortable. Everybody else didn't look comfortable. And then when Halliburton went down in the first 7 minutes of the game, after he hit the three threes, and it just took the sails out of them. Even though they competed, because that's what they do.
Did you have a problem? Let me ask you this: did you have a problem? And I just saw somewhere his agent a couple minutes before I came on. You have a problem with how Ace Bailey went about his pre-draft thing? I've heard some people.
A little bit. I did, but a little bit. But he wasn't going top 2, and he was trying to put himself in a position where he can probably he can probably dictate terms of where he wanted to go. He basically wanted to go to a team where he was going to get a lot of run, and that's basically what happened. Because Utah, he's going to get a lot of minutes in Utah.
But his face said otherwise.
Well, I mean, because Utah was never on the radar, right? Like nobody thought Utah was going to be. I mean, and that's why he didn't work out for teams, because he knew, he was like that's just such different, I don't want to say cultures, but like it'll probably be a culture shock for him going to Utah. But it's probably the best thing that's going to happen to him. He's going to get minutes. He's going to get a high usage because, let's face it, Utah has had lottery picks and haven't hit. So, listen, I think Utah was a big winner to get Ace Bailey at what, number 5? Number 5, I mean, that's a steal. To get Ace Bailey at 5 is a steal. An absolute steal.
Quick question. The Brooklyn Nets, they 5 picks. What grade do you give them for the
they did all right. I didn't really like any of the picks. I mean, and again, they didn't have like a top tier pick, so but they did all right, man. I saw a stat in the last couple of years, they only had like 5 first round picks or something in like 10 years or something like that, and now they had 5 first round picks in one season. I would have liked for them to package at least 2 of those picks and move up in the draft, and get a better, and get a more like a better prospect. And I'm not trying to bag on their draft picks, because nobody knows how these guys are going to turn out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen guys middle of the first round, late first round, early second round come up to be superstars. So, well, it's the Jokers, the Giannis's, you know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know. I'm not making 5 picks in the first round, man. I'm packaging at least 2 and moving up. Like, to me, that's just I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I just think that's just too much. Like, what are you gonna do with all of them? 5 first round picks, and you didn't move any of them to move up or trade out and get some assets for next season or something. You gonna play all these guys? You gonna stash them? Like, it's just too much.
So they top pick was dude, what's his name, Denham from BYU, who's a guard, and then you had they had the dude from France who's also a guard also, and
I like him. Like I said, they got decent picks, but use 2 of those picks and move up and get somebody more dynamic, or that's just what I would have done.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
And I don't listen. I don't know what the hell. Gosh, I just lost my train of thought. The Joe Dumars, what he was doing with
Did we lose Ryan?
New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Pelicans. Like,
yes,
dude, you moved up 10 spots from 23 to 13 to get Queen, and you gave up your first round pick for next year unprotected. You're not going to be good. You just got rid of McCollum. Ingram's no longer there. I love their first round pick. They got it number 7. I love him. But Queen. So you're gonna have Queen and Zion. They both play power forward. Like, listen. If Queen is not good or doesn't pan out, and then your pick that you gave to Atlanta ends up being like a top 3 pick where the Boozer 20s in there. The AJ guy from BYU who's supposed to be the number 1 pick. If that hits, and that was your pick, and for Queen at 13, like who who trades an unprotected first in unprotected first round draft pick to move up to number 13? You do that to move into the top 5, not 13. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand. And then on top of that,
Go ahead.
the pick is connected with Milwaukee's pick. So it's the better of the. So Atlanta gets the better of the two, whether it's Milwaukee or the Pelicans. And the Pelicans not going to be good in the West.
Nope.
I mean, I don't.
What are they doing?
I mean, Joe. Like I'm like, Joe. You missed out on Carmelo. You missed out on D Wade. You missed out on Bosh. And now all these years later, you come and do. I'm like, everybody is like in shock about what he did. So yeah, man, it's just yeah, I'm flabbergasted what he did. Like look.
Did we lose Ryan? Ryan, you there? Did we lose Ryan? I think Ryan driving through a dead spot.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir. Right.
Yeah, like I said, if Queen doesn't pan out, and then next year their pick turns out to be a top 3 pick, man, that's a fireable offense, man. You missed out all these years later, man. You missed it. Oh my gosh! Like I don't know, man. I don't know what some of these GMs who are running these teams are doing. I love what Utah did, and Utah got Clayton from the championship Florida Gators. Got him in the first round with Ace Bailey. So now you potentially got your a point guard and a shooting guard, small forward. So a wing. So I love what they did with that. I love what Phoenix did with getting the center from Duke. I love at number 10 they got back their pick from the Rockets. So they got that. So yeah. So I like what they did.
Who was the most disappointing to you in the first round? You think besides the Pelicans?
Most disappointing team. Oh man.
Or maybe you don't have one. Who's your surprise? Maybe you don't have.
Again, I like the players. It's not. I like the Pelicans pick at 7. I like Queen, but you can't give up future assets to move up 10 spots to 13. It just doesn't make any sense. Well, I do like what Charlotte did. Getting Canipple. I like that. Because move. The reason why I like that move, right? You got Ball, you got the guy from Alabama they drafted a couple of years ago. So you got your guys who are flashy. Canipple is gonna come in. He's smart. He's gonna play winning basketball. He can play off of everybody. He's just gonna make winning plays. So I love what they did with that. I love the Charlotte pick. That was a sneaky good pick.
Okay, because Charlotte hasn't done nothing in a very long time since they even changed their name back to the Hornets from the Bobcats, which I always thought was anything else pertaining to the draft before we move on to the WNBA? And they got the second round going on tonight. I think the pick is in. Who's this? Minnesota pick, Rasheer Fleming from St. Joe's. So.
Yeah. I like, we saw the chalk as far as Cooper and Harper. I'm not mad at what Philly did getting Edgecombe because, he's a professional. You know what I'm saying? Where it was with an Ace, rub a lot of people the wrong way, not working out for teams and that, so It's kind of showing some like diva type stuff already. So I understand it, but yeah,
that's exactly what my train of thought when I asked you that question. Yeah, people were like maybe shying away, like, man, Dad, you're diva already. Which every player has their right to be, and they have their right to their own thing as far as pre-draft workouts and stuff like that. But it's just what it
yeah.
is. Just what it is. The WNBA, Ryan, looked like Caitlin Clark is hurt again. What's going on with her?
She has a groin issue. Maybe she came back too quick from the quad. So and she might be overcompensating. She looks tired. She doesn't look like she have her legs on her jaw. I'm like, she's shooting poorly from the three the last couple of games.
Yes.
So like I believe she was like at 2 for 20 at one point. And but like I said, she still does other things to help the team win. But I love what they did, even though DeWanna Bonner wasn't getting the minutes and she wanted to move on. But I like them getting Ari McDonald because she can play the point. You have to play Caitlin off the ball sometimes. It's too much usage to always have her in the pick and roll. One, you can trap her a lot of the times, so that's going to take the ball out of her hands. Let her play off of somebody. Let her play off of the point guard and come off screens sometimes. So it's so you give the team a different look and you give her a different look. It's too taxing to always have the ball in your hand and you're always the one initiating the offense. You're going to get tired. So I like that in that aspect.
Is Bonner going to Phoenix? What's the word on that?
Well, she started her career in Phoenix. Well, at the beginning beginning of her of her career, and she won championships in Phoenix. So so she's familiar with with Phoenix, and her fiance's there.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. Anything else
Yeah.
on the WNBA as we are here?
Yeah, no, that's about it, man. Like I said, the All-Star voting is still there. Go ahead and get your vote on. You know what I'm saying? Vote for the All-Star, WNBA All-Star. But no, that's about it, man. That's about it.
That's about it. Like Ryan said, make sure you're voting for the WNBA All-Star Game. Make sure you get your vote in WNBA.com. Also for the MLB All-Star Game, the midseason classic, which will be in Atlanta. I think the WNBA's will be in Indianapolis, correct? Yes, it'll be in Indianapolis this year. Also, let me get back to this other article from Florida State. I finally got it here. It says, and this is from CBS Sports. It says that's not normal. Florida State rev share contracts are raising eyebrows, agents and industry experts say. And let me just go from this. It says, and this is from Chris Humer from CBS Sports. He wrote today, revenue sharing era starts July 1st. I think I lost Ryan. Yeah, I lost Ryan here. And since some front-loaded payments only early, but only finalized full contracts after June 6th. The aggressive contract language, FSU's, there you go. Got Ryan back here again. Yeah, are you with us, Ryan? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, so let me get this again. This is about Florida State's their revenue sharing contracts. Revenue sharing era starts on July 1st. FSU sent some front-loaded payments early, but only finalized full contracts after June 6th. They got an aggressive contract language. FSU's contracts included multiple clauses that agents considered unusual and harsh. And some of the things they said was the unilateral contract extension at end of a current term without negotiations. There could be fines up to $2.5 thousand if a player loses gear, $1,000 for first-time controlled substance offense. And then there's breaches of contract, also illness or injury affecting NIL value. And then there's clauses that could limit access to legal counsel in future NIL deals. So some of the industry have reacted. You got execs from the Big 10 and Big 12 saying that's not normal, and they threw everything and the kitchen sink. They said some ACC agents noted FSU is a bold but not unique, yet still pushing boundaries. Excuse me. And then there was other offers of successive 1-year renewals unless both parties renegotiated, seen as a one-sided and locking players into deals. And then they talked about the injury breach. If injury impacts NIL, FSU can alter compensation, unusual in college football. And then you got the term rule fines, multi-page infractions, schedule fines, escalate, and lack a fair appeal process, they're saying here. And then there's the negotiation dynamics. FSU reportedly willing to move some clauses if agents push back without an ACC-wide standard. FSU is looking to lead and crafting their own template. Basically, what I'm reading here from this article in bullet points, and they said that this may set precedents in NIL era contracts, and schools are testing legal tactics. This is basically the school wants to put something on paper saying, hey, we're paying you this NIL, but this is what you're going to be responsible for as well. We're going to hold your feet to the fire when it comes to, unfortunately, they're saying injuries. They're talking about other things that, behavior or other clauses that could limit access to legal counsel. So basically, FSU wants to put in writing some things where, hey, if you violate this is what's going to happen. And, you knew this is how this was going to go down as far as when it comes to sports, and especially in college sports. And now that these players, let's start kidding ourselves. Let's stop it with the student athlete. Stop it. It's no more. These players are now employees of these universities, and now the universities is trying to get ahead of it the other way, right? So now, because it's out of control, right? Because we're having transfers in the middle of postseason and things of that nature. So Florida State said, "Yo, we're gonna get ahead of this, man. We're just gonna make sure that on July 1st, when this stuff started, we're gonna." And they're going to get some pushback, as I read in the article, man. They're going to get some pushbacks from some agents because people are going to be like, "No, that's not right." And but I guess this is what we should have expected. Well, it's something the NCAA should have did because, hey, the contract, it's just what it is. It's a contract. So when you sign with Florida State, man, expect some things to come down the pike, man, especially when they negotiate the deal. Like I said, it's nothing written in stone, just how they're negotiating the deal. So Florida State's NIL era revenue sharing contracts drafted post June 6th settlement included unusual aggressive terms that raise red flags across the industry, clauses that allow one-sided extensions, punitive penalties. Yes, that's what I was saying about the penalties for injuries affecting NIL value, steep fines without clear appeals, and limitations on future legal representation have prompted criticism from agents and analysts. While FSU maintains flexibility and negotiation leverage, lies, I don't believe that. Many of these provisions, especially the injury breach clause, stand out as atypical in college athletes, even compared with Power 4 peers. The contracts serve as a test cases in an evolving pay-for-play landscape, lacking consistent standards. This is what happened when the NCAA doesn't have a governing body. So you got Florida, they said they're going to lay down the hammer, and they're going to have some very punitive, harsh penalties if there's some breach of contract or whatever, man. So that's it. When we have to do, guess Florida State's going to do what they have to do when it comes to the NIL. Listen, I lost Ryan here. Ryan probably got a signal loss or whatever. Ryan, thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Like I said, this is going to be a short show. We rocked on for about 55 minutes, man. My part shots, listen, just be careful, be safe this week. Make sure you love and hug on your family, man. Just have a great week, man. And we'll see you next week, I believe. I think we'll see you next week. Whether we'll be live, no, excuse me, we won't be on next week, but we will be on next week. We won't be live next week, but there will be content for you to consume next week. Look out for all the bells and notifications. Like I said, we'll be talking to some, some people within the realm of sports, whether it be sports or business, like how we have. Check out some of our older episodes if you haven't. If you haven't gotten a chance, make sure you check out the interview we did with Dr. Glenn Toby. That was the dopest interview that we had. We had some others with some notable people, man. So make sure you go to our interview sessions on Sports Chasers YouTube page and check us out. You know, those are the sound of our voice. You know, go in and just look at our catalog, man, as we've been rocking on this is, what year is this? It's going to be about year 7 in October, man. Year 7 in October. I'm grateful and thankful. That's all that has been done for us. I'm grateful and thankful for my co-host, Ryan D'Souza, the main man when it comes to the NBA and WNBA. Dan, the hockey dude. Dan always for the hockey and for the WNBA, man. Mike Mills with the men's and women's NCAA basketball. And our New York Mets insider. I would love to hear Mike's take on how the Mets have not played well lately. The DA, when it comes to all things sports business, man, and legal stuff, that's my man when it comes to that stuff. And he loves football, and he loves baseball, and he loves the Niners, and he doesn't like when the NBA don't compete and play defense. And my main man, D-Dubs, man, you know, baseball, football, you like it. We call him HR here on the show. As he keeps all of us in line, and you know, I'm thankful for him. I thankful for all of you that are watching, that keep on rocking on with us, man. Like I said, year 7, and we just in this last year we have really seen some real growth in subscribers, people watching, and we're thankful for it. So 7, the year of completion. All those people that you know what I'm saying, y'all know about numbers and stuff like that, especially when it comes to biblical numbers. 7, the year of completion. So listen, we're going to get on out of here. I'm going to get on out of here on behalf of myself. I'm Kevin O. Warren, your host and moderator of the Sports Chasers podcast. Y'all be good. Y'all be great. Have a blessed week and weekend, remainder of the weekend. Hey, man, we'll catch y'all on the flip side, man. So y'all be good. If I can pull up my ending here. Peace.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.